unfortunately, we have these wildfires going on again here in New Mexico, and the country is really captivated about what's happening with these fires. Being someone that's in Ruidoso, how can you kind of explain what's going on?
Well, I can tell you, first of all, thanks for giving me the chance to come on and chat with you. The whole village has been evacuated. There's only a few people that stayed behind. I was one of those few, and I I could tell you it's really quiet, and just there's just everyone is just in kind of in shock. This moved in really fast. Uh, our mayor, Lynn, he spoke this morning, did a press release, and we just, I think everybody is on the same page. We're kind of just in shock. Lots of structures have burned. The village itself looks good. I want folks to know that town looks good. Businesses are good. The parks are good. It's when you get up into the areas of the deeper portions into the neighborhoods of the Upper Canyon and some of those other areas where my house was, Ponderosa Heights, and is. I was able to save my house. And then the worst, I think, was into Cedar Creek and Alpine Village, Swiss Chalet, moving up into Alto. So again, I have not been up into those areas. We're not allowed to. They have 48 shut down up there, and I do know it's pretty heartbreaking. And so many have just lost, everything.
There was a gentleman from Ruidoso who found his way to San Angelo. I'm not quite sure what the connection was, but we spoke with him. All that to say, he's one of the people that ended up leaving the community. Why was it important for you to stay?
I guess I'm just stubborn. No, truthfully, I also had a great option. I was able to stay in town at an Airbnb. A friend of ours owns, and she was going to need shelter there too. And so honestly, it was the right fit. And I know the town fairly well. I felt like I knew that this was a really safe location where we are, and it is. I also just knew something told me that you're not leaving your house. So if I had this ability to stay close and be a part of, um, you know, just being close by to help or be able to assist in any way, and just be able to check on my own, property. And I'm glad I did, because, I made a decision to go try and go back up to my house after we'd already been evacuated, and just see if I could even get up there or what it looked like. I wasn't going around any barriers. At this point, it just looked like a normal drive back up to my house. And that's when I rolled up on my neighbor's house, fully engulfed in flames. And there's actually a video that kind of went viral around TikTok of me fighting that fire with a garden hose. And I wasn't trying to put out his house. I was just putting a barrier from that fire spreading, because it was only 20 yards from my back porch. So if I wouldn't have stayed, or if I had not decided to show back up at my house that morning, even 15, 20 minutes difference, my house would be burned. So I'm just so grateful that I stayed, and that also grateful that the hotshot crews came when they did randomly. I didn't have any cell phone service up there. They just showed up about 15 minutes after I did, and just immediately hooked up to the hydrant and went to work. So there was a lot of just really incredible things that happened that morning for me. And I just feel blessed. I know so many others that were not fortunate. Our chief of police lost his home. Our fire chief lost his home. I could just go on and on. It's just devastating.
Funny how the world works sometimes, all these people losing their homes, and you're one of the very fortunate ones, for lack of a better term. I know you guys had the blue fires not too long ago. How would this kind of compare?
This is definitely this one feels more aggressive, violent, scary, all those things. All these fires are terrible, and it's something that the locals always fear. And but this area where this fire is in particular, where both fires were going, but in particular the South Fort fire, which was um, where it started, was the direction that could really ultimately take out the entire village. And I do want to reiterate that they did release a statement today that the cause of the fire is still under investigation. So this is actually still possibly a crime scene, and I don't want to let I just want to make sure that that is known, that that is an option in what they're investigating right now. And this is just heartbreaking. If in fact this was intentional or negligence or whatever, but this destroyed a lot of lives, homes. So far, not the loss of lives, but just people's lives, their livelihood, their homes that they've had here for years. They're generational. A lot of these old cabins were owned by generations, of folks, and so it's just sad to see those go.
I'm wondering if you would describe Ruidoso as a tight knit community. That to ask, where do you guys kind of go from here?
Yeah, when I moved here 3.5, almost 4 years ago now from Fort Worth, Texas, I one of the things I loved about this community is that it feels small town. It feels like what I grew up with. There's a heavy influence of Texas here. A lot of native Texans, and obviously that's predominantly most of our tourism is from Texas, and so there's just a good feeling, and this community has not outgrown that. They embrace these kinds of situations. I can tell you, I'm not a pro. I've only been here 3.5 years, but mountain towns are very resourceful, and they people really get through things and stick together. And I'm just glad to be kind of part of the thread of that. And that's another reason why I stayed back, is I knew I needed to be here. So
You mentioned the
I do want to say, and it's been a blessing that I was able to help. I've been online helping folks find, if their cabins were still there, or check the areas. We've gone in and, helped, get pets out, or start water sprinklers before in certain situations. So, it's been pretty incredible. I stayed up to about 1 a.m. last night, just going through over 100 messages of folks asking, if my cabin is still there, can you check on my parents' place? And they would give me a number. And I went through and I had recorded all these videos driving around, because I was one of the only few in town. And I was able to cross-reference almost every single address in the areas that people were asking me, and that I was able to get into. And so, giving folks closure. I was on the phone with a lady who just kind of broke down with me in tears, because her cabin made it, and it was built by her grandpa, and it's a very kind of special thing. And it's very hard. It just makes me feel good, and to be able to help get a little bit of closure for folks, or even if I had to share the bad news.
Is that kind of a daunting task because you don't know what you're walking into? And you mentioned generations living in the same cabin, having the same cabin, and you could very well be the bearer of bad news. Do you kind of feel maybe a little bit of a weight on your shoulder, not knowing what you're going to go into, and possibly having to tell someone, I'm sorry, but there's nothing remaining of your home?
Oh, I did. I've had many of those conversations yesterday, and I will say that I'm a pretty strong guy. Anybody who knows me knows that mentally, physically, I'm a pretty sharp guy. But this was different, and I'll just share a brief story. A lady reached out, and she said, "I have to know if it's still there. It's on Main Road. It's a cabin up in the Upper Canyon." And I knew that I had good video up there, and I knew around the area, because of my old cabin when we first moved here was up in the Upper Canyon, and that burned as well, which was sad to see. But I knew hers was close, and this particular video, I was able to find the exact name tag. A lot of people out here, they'll put a wooden tag with their last names on a big tree, in front of their cabins, and that's kind of a tradition up there in the Upper Canyon. And I was able to see her last name, the exact number of the house, and right behind it was just the fireplace standing. There was just nothing left. So it was just moments like that really got to me. And I will say, by the end of the day, I just couldn't go to sleep. It was just had so much, on my mind, and just kind of processing what all these folks that I don't even know, that just know me through music. I'm obviously a musician and tour and travel. And so that's how these videos took off. And that's how these people were contacting me saying, I can't believe, that you're willing to do this. And I mean, I'm here, and I got spared. And so it's not music for me right now. It's helping my community, and there's no shows to be had here right now. So I'm just glad that I can give some of these people good news or bad. Unfortunately, when you're 10 hours away and you just want to know if your place is still there. So anyway, I just doing what I can and trying to stay out of the way of EMS and everyone that's working so hard.
Just a couple more questions for you, and I'll let you carry on with your day. You mentioned the influence of Texas where you are, and we're working actually on a couple of stories today here in West Texas of a couple of businesses, organizations gathering supplies. They want to be able to help. Not that it's just West Texas, but any other parts of the country. When you hear that people who maybe have never even heard of Ruidoso and until the last few days want to help, how does that make you feel?
Oh, it makes me feel great. The support that I've seen from people all over. I mentioned earlier, we got it on film when I had my friend film while I was trying to battle these flames next door, and it was only for the intention in case something happened. I just wanted to document it. And when we posted them to just kind of say, pray for the community, this is what happened, I had no idea it would have over half a million views in 24 hours. And the things that I can't even read them all. There was just so many comments, one after another, from just people saying, praying for Ruidoso. And these people probably had never even heard of this place, by the thousands. But just showing that support and seeing how many people have reached out and asked what they can do to help. Tell me what to do. I'm ready. I got a lot of people back in Texas asking, and who always step up for charity events that I'm a part of or things that I do to help. So yeah, when we find out more ways that they can do that, as soon as I know, I will relay that to my friends and people on my social media so that they can, send things this way or help out.
I am not a musician and I would never ever pretend to be one, but obviously when people write songs, write music, they lean on some of their life experiences. Even though this is an extremely negative and traumatic experience, do you think this will have an impact on your music in the future?
Oh, I have no doubt. I'm sure a song or two is going to come from it. It's 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 just been an experience for sure. And yeah, I have to tell you, San Angelo, I play in San Angelo all the time. That's a special place for me. So, I grew up playing Blaine's for years, and been a part of a lot of events out there. A lot of good people out in San Angelo.
Phil, is there anything I didn't ask you or bring up that you wanted to get across at all?
No, I think I'm good. I just want to say thank you to everyone who has reached out to me personally for about my family, or how they can help, or just folks who have reached out who had family here, houses, or things like that. Just thank you for all the support. It's really got us through a strange time, and also, um, just be praying for these folks. There's a lot of people going home to no homes. Their rentals were burned, houses, personal homes. I mean, it's just this is something this community has never seen quite like this.
Thank you very much, Phil. Obviously, if you have any updates to share or any way we can get some important information out to whomever it is that may be watching or listening to us, we'd be more than happy to help.
Okay, I sure appreciate it.